Well, good morning. My God, here I am. I'm in the side by side, and I'll tell you why. Oh, the wind. Did we ever see such wind? Or, well, not see it, but I mean, hear it. I've never seen the like of it in my life. And anyway, every time I go out through the door, this sort of thing goes on in my ears, and I'm thinking they're not going to be able to hear me. And so I said, you know what? I'll get in the side by side and I'll go up over the hills and I'll have a little look down. And I want to show you something here now. One second. Look at this. It's a bit steep. It's a little tiny bit steep. But anyway, we used to very not this hill right here, the steep one, but a little bit further down because this was all woods back when I was growing up, and then we cleared it. Well, no, I didn't get my hacksaw out or anything. It was cleared by the farm people, the farmers, all of us took part. But anyway, and made it for hay. However, a little bit further on, down here, is where we would slide, and we'd slide. Oh my God, we had such wonderful, the crazy carpet now and this, the down over the hill and nothing to it, trudge right back up again, down over the hill, delighted with ourselves. And mom would turn, so we'd go out in the day, and mom would flick the light when it came time to say, okay, come on, darlings, come home. And so all of us would go down to the house then, and mom would open the oven door and have a towel on the oven door, and we'd lay our feet. God bless, isn't that marvelous? We'd lay our feet on the oven door to warm up our feet. We probably had frostbite. I don't know. But anyway, I'm here in the side by side, as I say. Now look at me. Hang on, I'll show you. It's really quite risky up here because this is look how steep that is. I'm not going there. I'll go over here. It's a bit slippery. You don't need to see it all now. I mean, it's not the great outdoors or anything. It is side by side with Sheila, though. Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're right. I know it's a great song. Anywho, I was into the home the other day. You see down here. See that ridge? One second. See that ridge right there? We used to climb that, this one right here. We'd climb that. Only did it several times in my life. Quite high, and look down over. But for whatever reason, could never really see all of the goals. I don't know if I was in a little sort of. Hang on, now I'll turn this off. In a little sort of crevice or something that I couldn't see everything. Like we couldn't see Forest Pond, for example. And I remember singing years ago. I would go around the pond and I would sing. Uh, remember Don McLean? I think it's Don McLean. He used to sing, and if he asks you why, you can tell her that I told you that I'm tired of castles in the air. I've got a dream. I would sing that to the top of my lungs going around the pond. I'm sure if you asked people, they would say, Sheila, who? No, no, they might say, yeah, I remember that. And anyway, the other day I was at the home and I was singing for a couple of my residents, and they said, Sheila, sing Coal Miner's Daughter. When I was growing up, I learned that because I really felt it was almost unjust that we didn't have a farmer's daughter. And so anyway, when I learned it, I thought, Mom, we should write Farmer's Daughter, and it just didn't rhyme. So anyway, we would go out on Halloween, and Mom would show off. That's the truth of the matter. She'd say, Sheila, sing and she'd snap her fingers like this. Then, hang on now. She'd say, sing the And knowing, I knew full well I only had that song in my little repertoire. And so I'd say, "What one, Mom?" And she'd say, "The coal miner's daughter, darling." And so I'd start in, "Well, I was born a coal miner." And I had it practiced. I was so, Mom sat back, with her chest puffed up. She was like a peacock, God bless her. Anyway, so those were, just not afraid at all to sing and delighted to do so. Well, now I was thinking about what am I going to share with you today, because we did the soap and the perfume and new toothbrush. Oh, the cloves. How did the cloves go? Listen to me when I tell you it got away from us. So I was burning the cloves. Next thing, the air's burnt out of the pot. So be careful about the cloves. Make sure there's enough water and not too much clove in the pot. And so I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking, okay, well, what? And now, admittedly, I didn't burn the arse out. That was Karen. I was thinking, what will I tell the crowd about today, so that you can go away and say, "Oh God, yeah, I learned this lovely little sort of trick." I'm going to tell you what my sister Kelly said. Sheila, you should do this with your floors, because I have a hardwood floor, and sometimes they get milky. You know, cleaning them. And I have a touch of, I might have a touch of OCD. It's gone undiagnosed. But anyway, so I like a nice clean floor. And so Kelly said, "You should try this." She said, I heard this tip. And I said, "What is it, please?" She said, "Put a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of Tide. Not the liquid, the powder. Go out and get the Tide powder. You can get it in the shops, for travel and that sort of. So you don't have to buy the great big box if you don't use Tide powder. And pour it in the bucket. Put it in the bucket. Those spin mop buckets. They're dynamite. And so anyway, she said, put it in the bucket. You don't need the spin mop, but it will help you along. And they're on sale now at Costco. Anyway, there's a separate point. Put it in the bucket, put in the hot water out of the tap. And I said, the hot water, yeah, okay, good. And it was good. And it makes the floor or the house smell fresh, Tide fresh. And so, excuse me. And so anyway, I was washing and washing. And, you really have to be fastidious about dumping the water and making sure you have clean. And so anyway, a friend of mine chimed in with this, and she said, "Sheila, no, look, Sheila." And this is how she speaks. I said, "Yes." She said, "Sheila, uh, boil your water." I said, "But they say just hot out of the tap, boil it." And I said, "Boil it." "All right, I'm going to boil it." And so I did. I boiled water and put in the teaspoon of Tide powder. The floors are gorgeous. This is a little tip from me to you. Give it a shot and see how your floors turn out, because when you boil the water, which is very good point, it somehow just takes all the grease, and my God, it works like a marvel. And so anyway, there's a little tip for you now for the week. See how you make out with it, and let me know. We put it in the comments if you have any sort of tidbits about the floors or anything, any cleaning at all. I really love a bit of cleaning. So anyway, if you have any tidbits, just give them to me. uh, the other day I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about Mom used to have this saying, and it was, "You rub the fat to the fat pig's arse, darling." And what this means is, you be kind to others, they'll be kind to you. It's that sort of thing. If you're rubbing the fat to the pig, it's going to benefit you in the future. You're eating the pig. Do you understand what I mean? You rub the fat to the fat pig's arse. And so anyway, we were always advocates of this. Be kind to one another, and not because it might come back on you, but just because. And so anyway, years ago, down around here, I'll show you. Down around the pond here, this is the pond. So down around the pond, there was a man, a young fellow. I wasn't born yet. Young fellow driving mad. and really speeding. And hang on now, I have to turn this on because it's fogging up. Let me know if it's too loud, will you? And then I'll turn it off again. But anyway, really speeding and such, and tearing around. Dad saw him, went down and said, and he went, Buddy drove up to Dad, and Dad said, "No, Dad, when when he was very serious, he had this sort of, there's something going on with his lips to make him even more foreboding, because Dad was a big man, you see, and so you didn't want to get on the other side of him. Stay on his right side and you're grand. And so anyway, to make him more foreboding, he sort of, so I don't know what he did with his lips, but anyway, he said, "Listen here." He said, "There's youngsters around this pond," and he said, "You're driving too fast." And Buddy cursed at him and said, "Go F yourself." And Dad said, "What?" Dad said, "What?" And the guy leaned in and told Dad again. And Dad had great big hands. My hands are big. Dad's were three of mine, thick and heavy hands. And so anyway, Dad then leaned in. He thought there's he thought there's no better solution for this now than to strike the man. And so he did. He leaned in and he hit Buddy. But Buddy took him to court, certainly. And anyway, Dad went to court, ready to face the judge, and brought with him a prime rib roast. When the lawyer saw Dad coming, he said, the lawyer got nervous. He said, "What are you doing with that?" He said, "Well, I thought I might give it to the judge." He said, "No, no, no." He said, "You can't do that." He said, that's bribery." He said, "They'll put you in jail." He said, "No, no." Dad said, "I didn't mean that." Dad did mean that. That's exactly what Dad did mean. Yes, he did. He meant to bribe him. But anyway, no, 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 no. Dad said, "I didn't mean that." And so he said, put that away. And so anyway, Dad put the roast down under his chair in court. And anyway, my God, I wish I was there. Anyway, so the lawyer, called Buddy to the stand, and the guy who Dad hit got up and explained how hard Dad had hit him, and and that blah 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 blah. And so the judge then said, "Mr. Williams," and Dad said, "Yes, Your Honor." And Dad jumped to his feet, 2 feet at once, and his posture was fantastic. He had a very sort of erect posture, and he said, "Yes, Your Honor." He said, "Approach the bench." And Dad went up to the bench, and he said, "Mr. Williams," he said, "let me see your hands." And then Dad went and put both hands in front of the judge like this. I can't do it now because I'm holding the thing. But he put both hands in front of the judge like this. And the judge looked at his hands and he looked at the complainant. Complainant? I'm not a lawyer. Make it up. And said, the person who brought him to court, whoever that is, said, "If this man hit you as hard as you say he did, you wouldn't be here today. Case dismissed." Dad said, "Thank you, Your Honor." He ran down and picked up the roast, laid it on the desk, and walked out. God, isn't that marvelous? God be with the good old days when it fogs up so quickly. When you could lay a roast on a desk and get away with it, but you can't now. But anyway, so it seems to me that a little bit of kindness. This is my point. If Buddy had just been kind, driving around the pond, they wouldn't have gone to court. Certainly, the judge wouldn't have gotten the prime rib either. Let me just give you another little look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know if you can see this, but isn't that wonderful that Donna and Ernie have the flag to support the Ukraine? Oh my God, they're going through something. God help us. But how has your Lent been? Now, I meant to tell you this. I'm going to say that I fell. I think it's only appropriate given the fact that it is in reference to Lent that I say that I've had a transgression. I had an ice cap. I was off my head. Isn't this terrible? I know it's terrible, but I did. I fell and I had the ice cap, and that's all I can do about it. But everything else, no, very good. I haven't had the whites, all that, but I did slip once, twice actually, and I had the ice cap. How are you doing with the Lent? Are you doing good? And so, we had, since I saw you last, we had Lent. We had St. Patrick's Day. My God, everyone out dancing and sporting and such. Isn't that marvelous? And now we're coming up. The next thing we're going to see now is Easter. And and I bought a chocolate bunny from Purdy, so I'll not deny it. Isn't that marvelous? I can't wait to have that, tear the ear off that. You ever see that little um, that little meme where the bunny's ears are gone and the other bunny's tail is gone? And Bunny says to the bunny with his ears gone, he said, "My ears sore." And he said, "I can't hear you." I know, it's funny. Anyway, I have one more story about Dad now. And that is, so years ago, he got in an accident. And what happened was he was driving his cow. There was a cow in the trailer, and they were driving along. This tractor trailer came along and T-boned him. Drove Dad in the ditch, the trailer in another ditch. And anyway, it was quite an accident. And anyway, Dad could hear the cow, and well, anyway, the bottom line is Dad said, "You know what, I'm going to have to sue for damages because I lost my cow, and I'm not well either." And so anyway, the lawyer was going against Dad. Now Dad was the person who was complaining. Make that up. Someone tell me what that is. Plaintiff. Perhaps it's a plaintiff, and they were the defendant. Yes, I think so. And anyway, the lawyer said, "Yes, Mr. Williams, but didn't you say at the scene that you were fine?" "Oh, yes," he said, "I did." But he said, as what was happening? No, he said, "We don't need to hear anymore." And he said, "Just answer the question. Didn't you say at the scene you were feeling fine?" And Dad said, "Well, you see, my cow, Bess, was a prize cow." He said, "No, we don't need to hear any more." And the judge stepped in then, curious about the prize cow, and said, "No, I'll allow this. Go ahead, Mr. Williams." And so he said, "I was in one ditch and the cow was in the other ditch and bawling out, and it was a prize cow." And anyway, the Department of Highways came along, or some department that takes care of animals, and came along and said, "Mr. Williams, your cow is not doing very good." So he said we had to shoot her. And so he said, "How are you feeling?" He said, "I'm feeling fine." So anyway, he was afraid to tell him, afraid to get killed. Anyway, there you go. All right. Well, now listen to me. I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks quite drags on, doesn't it? And it occurred to me a little while ago that the very first one I did was March 17th. It was St. Patrick's Day. And so there you are. So that was last week. I should come on for that. I forgot all about it, tell you the truth, until the day was gone. So I'll see you in 2 weeks' time, and soon I'm going to get back to every week. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. If you have any good news at all, share it here. Love to you.